one thing I try not to do, maybe that's how I should answer the question. One thing I try not to do is to put myself in a box. I don't define what I do, that this is what I do. The reason being that I think the very moment art is defined, it becomes an illustration. And I'm not an illustrator, I'm a creative thinker. So in terms of style, this is one challenge that I've always had, especially with my curator, Leroy Kobaji. He's always talked about how Hacajaka, you need to have a style, you need to just settle on something, and I've always struggled with that argument and that discussion, and we've always gone back and forth with it. And I tell him that a craftsman can have a style, but the real artist has no style. And that is why if you look at the works of one of the greatest artists, for me personally, is one of the greatest, Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci had no style. Today you look at Da Vinci's work and it's that. Tomorrow is this, tomorrow is that. Even Picasso had no style. Picasso had periods where he had the blue periods. He had the periods when he did Cubism. He had the periods when he was doing this huge, bulky Bulgarian women figures. Period when he's doing sketches and drawings. You don't want to put yourself in a box. So for me as an artist, I don't have a style. But one thing I don't do realism. The reason, if I look at how technology is moving, the only thing that makes me relevant as an artist is the fact that I do something that a camera cannot do. Because if I look at the detail that cameras, modern cameras, technology, video, and all can take, who am I? I become very insignificant if I try to outpace or copy or try. So the only thing that makes me relevant or better than the camera, which I think is a phenomenal invention, thank God to the French Revolution, is that I do something that moves so away from resemblance to nature. So if you ask me what I do or what style, my answer is that it's not what I do, it's what I don't do. And what I don't do is that I don't do realism. It's hard to find my paintings. The reason being this. In the mid-90s, when I came up as a professional artist, with my friends who came out of college, we were all excited, everybody was doing things, we were even trying to outdo each other. It was exciting times in the mid-90s. And I remember taking my work from gallery to gallery, talking to the owners, and I sensed this feeling of over-commercialization of the work anytime I spoke to a gallery owner. It was all about, you need to do more or this or that because the buyers like this and the expatriates like this and the tourists like this. And then I met this man. It was at a show that we did at the Golden Tulip. And then a curator from London. At the time, he used to run the Savannah Gallery of Modern Arts, or something like that. That's the name. His name is Leroy Kobaji. And when I met that man, my whole career, my life as an artist turned around. I remember Leroy had written in his diary, he showed to me years later, and this is what he had said, because he came to the Golden Tulip to see the show that we did. And this is what he had written. He said, "Today, it's not been a bad day. I went to see a show at the Golden Tulip. Young artists, not bad. I met one who had a name that sounds like thunder, and he was referring to me. And then I said, oh, so when you wrote that, what did you mean by that? He said he didn't like me when he met me. And this was later, years later, when we had become friends and he was showing my work and all. And then I said, why didn't you like me? He said, because you didn't look like an artist. An artist is supposed to look conservative, meek, poor, broke, but you look like a businessman. You had on rings and a chain, and you smelled of fragrance. I said, who is this? And he said, this is the word he used, who is this poofter? So I sort of informally signed an exclusive contract with Leroy that said that he was the only one who showed my work. It's not in writing, I'm not held by anything, but I'm more comfortable showing my work. Leroy respects my work. I haven't seen anybody who respects my work more than myself, than Leroy Kobaji. So if you want to buy my work, or if you want to see my work, Other than coming to my studio in Virginia, Woodbridge, my personal residence, my studio in my basement, the only other place is Leroy Kobaji's gallery in Ghana.
Okay.
Or any other show that I may have anywhere in the world. Oh, Senator Rodney Ellis of Houston, Texas. Arguably, he's my biggest collector in the United States. It was one of those seasons when an artist so broke needed money. Leroy and I think we hadn't even eaten the whole day, and we went out to town, came back, and the gentleman who was manning the gallery, immediately we got there, we said, "Peter, have you sold anything today?" And he said, "No, but this man came here, and he left his card." So we took the card, we looked, and we said, "What? Senator? Where is he?" And you let him go? And he said, yes, he says he's at the Labadi Beach Hotel. He liked Hacajaka's work. So we go and Senator Rodney Ellis says, "Okay, oh yes, I was at the show. Nice, I'll come back there tomorrow." So we like, "You said you like the work, you come back tomorrow?" In our minds, we thought we had just made a sale and we were going to have something good to eat that evening. So anyway, we tied the work back onto the Mercedes, and then we drove back. Isn't it ironic, driving a Mercedes and being broke? Drove back to the gallery, put the work there. So the next day, we set everything up, we are sitting there waiting. I know Rodney Ellis will laugh if he should see this interview because he doesn't know what happened behind the scenes with the sale of that painting. So this Pajero, Mitsubishi Pajero, pulls up, they come out, they walk in, and then he sees, he says, "Oh, beautiful, that's the work. I really like it." He asked me a few questions about it, I explained it as much as I can, the back of my mind thinking about how if I screw it, I'm end up losing the sale. So speaking as a hungry artist, said all I could, and then eventually says, "Okay, how much is the painting?" And then Leroy says $800. $800 in 1995 was a whole lot of money for a Ghanaian artist. I mean, my friends who were really selling at high prices were selling $300, $400, $450. I had never seen any of my friends sell for $500, and Leroy is standing there saying $800. I'm like, this guy better not mess this up. And at that time, it sounded funny with his American accent, Texas accent. He was like, "I'm going to give you $500. And we were laughing because I was like, what is he saying? $500? You know, so anyway, Leroy tells him, "I'm sorry, I'll not take $500. And I'm like, what? He will not take $500? I wish I could slap the living hell out of him. Like, we've never sold anything this high. Come on, let's take the money. But I couldn't tell him because I have to be professional. He told me already before we met the senator. We had rehearsed this whole situation, and I was supposed to keep my mouth shut. And then there was something Leroy said that shut me up. He said, "Take it from me, sir. I respect you. I want your business. But look into this gallery. Any other work you want, any other work, I'll give you 25% off. In fact, I'll give you 50% off. I'll throw in my commission. But this work, no way. I'm not taking even $1 off it. Because he is potentially the best artist in this gallery." That was a wow moment for me because I can tell when a man is speaking the corn and when a man is speaking his heart. And I saw Leroy speaking his heart. It actually put my confidence level from like 2 to about 100. It didn't take more than 15 minutes. I saw that same Mitsubishi Pajero driving down towards the gallery. And in the park, he jumped out and he said, "Okay, you win, I'll take it." And I said, yes. I'll say there's a bright future. The world is changing. Growing up, if you said you're an artist, people laugh at you. They ridicule you, they put you down. If you said you're an artist, people laugh at you, they ridicule you. You say you're an actor, especially in Ghana. It's those who didn't go to school, those who were not from respected families, those who were educationally challenged, who wanted to be actors or singers or musicians. Now it's changed. Every kid wants to sing. Every singer wants to sing Afrobeat, hip hop, rap. Same thing when it comes to soccer. Nobody wanted to, I remember growing up, if you're playing soccer, your parents would say, "Stop playing soccer and go and study." Or "Stop drawing and go and study." Stop. Now is the parents buying the football for the soccer ball for their kids because they see there's a team of lecturers at the College of Art, KNUST, and I want to give a shout out to them. The Black Star Line team, that's Hacajaka, Dr. Edwin Bojawa and his team. They are doing some phenomenal things. I mean, recently my work was part of works that were auctioned at the Bonham's auction on Bond Street, New Bond Street in London, and it was something that was unheard of when the lecturers who taught us in school were young at our age. Suddenly, it's the scope is opening, the horizon is so wide. I mean, the possibilities are unlimited. But one thing I want to tell the young people is this: it's not going to be an easy road. It's not that easy. I mean, they shouldn't just look at Van Gogh, Picasso, Renoir, Pollock, Jean Basquiat, and say that, oh, if they did it, they sold millions. But for every Basquiat, for every Van Gogh, for every Renoir, for every Michelangelo, for every Picasso, for every whatever, for every Ben Enwonwo, for every Abladi Glover, there are thousands who were never heard of, who fell by the roadside because they didn't understand it. In life, if you do what is hard, life will be easy. If you do what is easy, life will be hard. As an artist, my advice, take the hard road. You definitely have to be hungry for a period. That is how you gain recognition. Because if you just do it because, okay, they want this, and you go here. They want that, and you go there. They want that. The same people who you are trying to feed, the collectors who you are trying to feed, pleasing, are the ones who say you are not a serious artist. And remember, it is one thing to be a local champion, where everybody's buying you in Ghana. And another thing, for galleries that matter, museums, Smithsonian, places like that, to begin to take a look at you. And most of the times, those who sell easily and quickly locally hardly end up getting international recognition because they're just playing the small leagues. To play the big leagues, the little people whose money you need now will not understand what you're doing, because for them, they just want something to beautify their wall. But for the big leagues, they want something that has depth. They want to see sustainability. They want to see you knowing and understanding what you're doing.